Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you some really cool equipment. This is a Northern Electric candlestick telephone with a rotary dial. And we have a bell box. Now this is Mark's equipment from New York, and the candlestick telephone has some issues. We're going to wire that for a standalone plug and play, and we also want to take the bell box and we're going to install a dual modular port on the bottom side of the bell box so that you can plug it simply into the wall. And then if you want to bring another device in, like the candlestick telephone, you can plug it right into the bell box. This is the initial checkout of this really neat equipment. And I want to go ahead and show you the candlestick telephone first. Now, we want to go through and troubleshoot our receiver. We want to go through that and make sure it's usable. We want to go into the transmitter. We may have to upgrade the transmitter to an electronic amplified transmitter that we design and build here at the shop, and it will give you much more transmit than the older style voice capsules, which have carbon granules in them that can get noisy over the time. And this probably has that type of transmitter in it. It's probably been changed through the years to the bulldog nose that it has on it now. We also want to go through the rotary. It's very sluggish. It does not want to return properly, so we'll go through that. Now, we have looked this equipment over a little bit already, and I know that I'm going to have to rewire the wiring for this telephone to work the way we want it to work. And we also want to take the line cord that we have here, and we want to take this 4-prong plug and remove it, and we'll install a modular port adapter so that it can be plugged into any modern day jack. So we'll get all that squared away. We also want to show you the bell. I have it open. It's a very cool bell. But the problem is it has the wrong solenoid in it. This would be more like a doorbell or maybe even an alert bell of some sort. So that has to be looked at, and we're going to have to replace it with a solenoid that works with a telephone line. So we'll be changing that out. Now, Mark has a situation where he can take the bells and he can plate them. So he's going to replate the bells as soon as he gets the unit back, and he'll take care of that issue. What we want to do is we want to get a start on this equipment. We're going to come back and get some more video as we move forward in the repair and conversion of this really cool equipment. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we are finished up with a repair and conversion of this really cool candlestick telephone and the wooden bell box. And we're going to go ahead and start our final checks. I want to mention our amplified pickup. We use this in troubleshooting, repairing, and on our final checkouts. It's amplified, and it picks up the audio from a receiver. The problem is we installed a amplified transmitter that we design and build here at the shop, and it takes the place of the old carbon granule crystal transmitters that can get noisy over the time. And so there's too much feedback because you have the amplification from the transmitter and the amplification on the receiver pickup. So what we want to do is we'll just go ahead and hold the receiver capsule up to the video, and you should be able to hear our final checkout. Another issue I want to talk about is this is one of the coils out of the bell, because if you remember, this bell box is not a telephone bell box, it's a signaling or a doorbell type box, and the coils are totally different. So I wanted to show you something that's kind of interesting. I've seen this many times. In the early days, they would take pieces of newspaper or magazines and they would wrap the coils in them. Now, you could try to read some of that, but that's pretty cool because this paper, I couldn't find a date on it, but I'm sure it's a very early piece of newspaper. So that's kind of interesting. And the reason why we removed one of the coils, I'll go ahead and go through that. There's an original coil here, but we had to bring this solenoid into values that we needed to actually make it work like a telephone bell. So there was quite a bit of a conversion. We had to redesign a coil, bring it into tolerance so that we could use it and that it worked with a telephone line on the ring cycle. So that's been taken care of, and we want to go ahead and test our bell also. Now we also installed our dual modular port at the bottom of the bell box, and we'll give you a still picture of that. Now we also want to talk a little bit about the candlestick telephone. We went ahead and used a short pigtail and an adapter, and then we have our modular port that we installed on the line cord, so we're able to save the original line cord. When this telephone came in, it had a 4-prong plug that was attached to it, so now it can simply be plugged into any modern day jack. Now the reason why we have to use a little short pigtail off the bell box and then our adapter is because even though you have some pads that we put down for the feet of the bell box, this is too long to basically go underneath the bell box. So that takes care of that issue. And we want Mark to be able to have a way to use the bell box and the telephone together if he chooses. So he has lots of different options. He can use the candlestick telephone anywhere he wants and the bell box anywhere he wants, or he can connect them all together because there's a dual port on the bell box, and you can simply bring any line cord, any length, any color, and plug right into the bell box, and with the second port you can feed the candlestick telephone. So we took care of all those options. Now we also installed our electronic amplified transmitter that we build here at the shop. We went through the rotary. That was cleaned, oiled, and adjusted, and we have a nice smooth return on that now. We went through the receiver capsule. We also went through the hook switch, and we had to rewire this telephone the way we wanted it wired to work the way we want it to work. So there was quite a bit of work on the candlestick, and then of course we already went through the bell box. We want to go ahead and start our final checks. This bell box will pull a little bit of Rin out of the line, but the older style bells will. So as long as the ring cycle voltage that Mark is using is within standards, this bell will not have a problem ringing. So let's go ahead and ring the unit. We'll use the analyzer and send a ring cycle. The bell has a very unique sound to it. I'll let it go one more time and we'll give you some dial tone. We'll go ahead and give you some dial tone. Now we want to walk through our numbers. If you watch the analyzer, you'll watch the numbers roll by. We have a nice smooth return. I'm going to end in a 2. Now, this electronic amplified transmitter, if you look at that red light on the analyzer, I'm pretty far away from this telephone, and you can see that every time that light lights up, that's an indication of 100% modulation on transmit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, hello. In the old days, they would have to get right up on the spit cup, and then, you were pretty lucky if they heard you. Nowadays, with this amplified transmitter that we design and build here at the shop, you don't have to get right up on this telephone and talk to it to have a normal conversation. You'll have a lot more clarity, and you'll have plenty of volume or transmit power. So now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to push this button on the switch box. That gives us a line out and totally takes the analyzer out of the situation. And we can call a time and temp number. So we'll go ahead and give you some dial tone. And we'll call that number.
Stack them deep, and we sell them cheap. Offenberg Ford in Belleville and O'Fallon. Offenberg Auto Mall and online at offenberg.com. Today is Tuesday, September 15th. The time is 10:19. Current temperature 84 degrees. Now the Belleville area weather forecast.
Sunny today with highs in the lower 80s, clear tonight, lows in the mid-50s to the lower 60s. Mostly sunny Wednesday, highs in the mid-80s.
Now we can hang up. We can call my number and it'll be busy. Go ahead and hang our unit up. Now that we know that this really cool candlestick, telephone, and bell box has been repaired and converted, we can return it to Mark and he can enjoy this really cool equipment. I'm sure it's going to look great no matter where he uses it. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.